Hey everyone, it's Emily, and I am back with another speed build. This one is a tiny home trailer that is near and dear to my heart. I want one of these in real life, and I was having a bit of creative block lately, just really struggling to build, come up with ideas, and so I decided to kind of revert back to one of the homes that I would really love in real life. And so this is a tiny home trailer. I've built one other tiny home trailer before. That was my dream tiny home trailer. It's quite extravagant, actually. It has a bedroom downstairs, an official bedroom downstairs. This one we included the Murphy bed, and so it does have sleeping arrangements in the lower level. And you'll see here I did include a loft space. Real life tiny homes usually have a loft space for storage, a bedroom, something like that. And unfortunately, in The Sims, it's not functional. I did include it, it's just for looks. The Sims cannot go up there, with the tiny home. Again, they would mostly have a second bedroom, or the main bedroom would be upstairs, but with the Sims it's just not feasible for them to walk up the stairs with a roof that low. So we just kind of made it work, and I tried doing the roof in a couple different ways to try and make sure that I had everything tried that I could. And I think with the platform update, I read somewhere that they made ceiling height a thing, and so even toddlers and children, I tried to play test it with, and it didn't work. So we're just gonna you know put it in there for looks, but just know that when you download this, it's not usable. It's just for decoration. So but we do have a fully functional house otherwise. Again, that Murphy bed is your sleeping quarters and your living room area. So, upgrade that if you don't want your Sims to die. That's what kind of prevents them from, getting squashed, is make sure you're doing that upgrade right away. Or if you're playing that kind of game, just have them put it down. Don't invite any friends over, because if they put it down, they're going to be in trouble. So lock your doors, folks. So this is based off of a real life floor pattern, some pictures I found online, and so we're just trying to find some siding, of course, and trim and windows that look kind of like the example I was looking at. Again, I looked at many of these tiny home trailers in my life, and I have a certain kind of style that I definitely prefer, with the kind of open kitchen into the living room area. Some of them have, quite a bit of different designs. So some people will have a hallway going down one side, and I just think that divides up the space too much. So I've been building ones that that I like. This is, as you can see here, 64 tiles, or 41 of 64. So it does meet the tiny home requirements. And again, it is play tested. So, I originally had placed some bookshelves on the kitchen counter because I wanted to be functional. They have to be snapped in order for your Sims to access it. So, I originally was doing that, but then we ended up putting it on the wall just because I realized it was the only counter they could use out in the kitchen. So I didn't want them going into the bathroom to have to make dinner or anything like that. And so, as nice as the books would have looked on that kitchen counter, we ended up again putting it on the wall and just rearranging some of the other decorations. I had a lot of fun decorating this. We have the toilet plunger there. We do have some of that open shelving from the new Snowy Escape pack that came out about a month ago. And some of that stuff we would have out in the open, just because you don't have the storage, the closets in a tiny home. And so, I've seen folks in real life that have like their plunger sitting out in a cute, like decorated container, like it looks like a cat or something like that. So maybe I would have done that if we had something, but you get the gist here. We have the plunger out. We have some of the items down below under the sink showing, that normally you would put in a cabinet. So I was kind kind of thinking, how would this really work in real life? And so that was fun. Using the tool mod here to just size up that shelf, size down the TV so that it's, it looks nice together, and thinking of that as kind of a mantle. You'll see I tried to put a fireplace in there and it was getting in the way of the Murphy bed. And so I had to kind of come up with a different solution for that area. And at the very, very end, you'll see that I place a coffee table in the living room area. And that is a tip I learned from Twisted Mexie's tool mod video that I watched. He actually mentioned something about placing an object on the floor below and raising it up to the next floor means that you can basically, the Sims treat it like it's not there. And so that's what I've done with the table, the coffee table. So your Sims can't actually use the coffee table. They will walk through it. But the plus side is they can put that Murphy bed down and it looks cool. So I decided to do that. And you'll see that at the very, very end of the video. Trying to work in some nifty knitting plants. I don't use those a lot. And I thought a tiny home would be the perfect place to have those little hanging plants. Here you'll see I ended up moving the books over there. So we do have a little bookshelf on the wall over there when, we don't have a lot of room for skilling items in a tiny home. And so I definitely wanted to make sure that books were included. We needed to have a personal library so that your Sims can learn the skills and, it's a very limited amount of space that they can learn a lot of this stuff in. So that is definitely was a priority for me. So that they would be able to scale. Same with that laptop. We placed it on a desk, and then you maybe saw that I sized it down with the tool mod. I know it happens really quick, but and then I was able to make it look like it's sitting on like a fold down shelf there. It is functional. The caveat is you have to have your Sim sit in that seat first, and then they can use the computer. That happens with a handful of my builds, even when I'm not using the tool mod, so I'm not sure why that's happening. This little packet here, I think it's from Eco Lifestyle. I really liked the look of it. It reminded me of those wipes you use in the bathroom, so I put some wipes on the toilet. It's a thing. Here I'm using a just custom shower curtain, using the tool mod to get it into the exact right spot. Of course, you can do that the old-fashioned way and take down the walls, place it where you want, and put the walls back. But the tool mod just makes it a little quicker and easier. So definitely a great mod for builders. And if you watched my channel before, you know that I use it pretty much in every build, unless I'm doing the Sparked Challenge. It's really the only exception, but I use the tool mod a lot. The link for that, of course, as always, will be down below. Here you're just trying to find some decorations that go perfectly. I did like, some of the nifty knitting and some of the snowy escape items, so I did use a handful of those in this build. Using the pillar tool mod to get those pillars into place. And then for the outside, I wanted it to be really simple. Part of the tiny home thing, I was disappointed that we didn't get solar panels or, rainwater collectors or anything like that, because that is really integral to tiny homes in real life. And now that we have Snowy Escape following that, it totally made sense. But so now that we have both out, I can use the alternative energy items on the tiny home, which is great, great, great. I'm so excited about that. The yard I wanted to keep real simple. This is a kind of a house where you move it around. I know a lot of people park it permanently, and that definitely would be the case. If I owned one, I would have a permanent spot for it, but you are able to travel with it, and that's the beauty of it. And so, we kind of kept this space, the outdoor space, really rustic. Just some kind of movable planters, movable items, just kind of trying to keep with that temporary feel of a tiny home, and so I didn't want to have any extensive landscaping. And with that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the new year.